how it's the last page. How Stella is so like distraught that like she's like kind of giving up on her sister and stuff like that, and then like Stanley like breaks on this like he knows that she's in like her worst like place. So even at the end, like the stage notes even say that he was voluptuously soothing. So like he was still trying to have sex with her even then. Like he was, or that was totally that was his own motivation even at the end.
Did anyone look up what 7 card stud is? Because that's the very last line of the play.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't look up what that meant, but I know stud is another name for.
They were playing like poker, so.
I looked what it meant, like what it, like it said like at the time like there was like a 5-card stud that was what like everyone mainly played, and then like a 7-card stud came along and it was like it's just like a really game changer. Something like that's what I got out of it. It was like a game changer.
Wait, who was the person that said it?
Steve.
I assumed it was Steve.
And part of like a 7-card stud is you have to show your hand, so it's like all about like bluffing. You know, like how like with poker, for example, like you play your hand and bluff and you make someone believe something that's not true. And
Oh, that's perfect.
that illusion.
So, and would you argue that the game is like the game that Blanche is playing with herself in the whole? And you could say that. You know, I actually wrote some of this prep saying that about like a. I know this we're not talking about this in this section of the seminar, but like about the rape thing and how Stanley raped her with that red silk thing, right? And like earlier we saw Blanche wearing that same kind of red silk thing, right? So I feel like it was Stanley beating her at her own game. So like the whole focus thing with the games, that was pretty cool.
I think that can connect to I feel like in the whole rape thing, I know we should probably move on from it, but I feel like she didn't really put up that good of a fight. Like she like broke the bottle and stuff like that to try to like make it like look like she was like putting up a good fight. But I think it's kind of like how at the start, and how Stanley says, it was in one of the core questions, how he says like basically says you've been asking for it because when he first meets her, they were kind of like flirty about it. And even now, like yeah, she obviously doesn't want to be raped, but I feel like she could have like fought it a lot more than she did.
Bouncing off of that, which I think might be what David is going to bring up. In the scene before, when she's interacting with Midge, and he's very clearly not trying to like come on to her at all. She tells him to get out, or she's going to scream fire. And like typically speaking, if like a person is in danger, particularly someone who is like more vulnerable to it, they tell you to say scream fire instead of like help, because you're more likely to like draw attention. So like she's more willing to like frame somebody who isn't even trying to hurt her, like for just to like get out of a situation. But when it really comes down to it, she doesn't even like flinch. I mean, she does, but you know what I mean.
I just want to.
I think like a big thing with like her whole like screaming fire. He says, whether you're not clean enough to bring in the house with my mother, which was him really telling her like you're not good enough, like you're not like the white material, which like she kind of like strives to be obsessed with, like she kind of desires, like she wants that life, but has like that background that makes her so she's not good enough for it.
I wonder, like, this is kind of, I don't know if this is like too much, but I wonder if she was thinking, like, maybe I deserve this, like, because, Mitch was being so, like caring my dad about it, and, like, so was Stanley, like, just before it, so, like, he made her weak enough to just be, like, maybe I do deserve it, and
Sorry, just before we move on, I wanted to say something about the 7-card stud line. I think this might have a lot to do with the theme of the piece, because like you were saying, the 7-card stud is about bluffing, right? So, and like bluffing is an illusion. So it could be possible that this line is saying that like life's an illusion, like that could connect to like the theme how like desires form your own illusions, and how like you're living in illusion, but at the same time that illusion could always come crashing down.
And I think that's what connects to them thinking that that Blanche is crazy, because like if you lie all the time, you start believing your own lies, and I feel like that's the point that she's gotten to, because like even when she's like, oh, did I get a letter from him? By the end of the story, she actually thinks that she might get a letter from him, and that's why Eunice and Stella keep changing the 7 subject. Oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, like, oh, your hair looks so great and stuff like that. To try to like get it off of that topic.
But they never like straight up tell Blanche like you're crazy. You know, they're still keeping her in and